This episode of the This is Reportage podcast is sponsored by Eneloop Pro batteries by Panasonic. If you're anything like me, you would have used a fair few batteries in your life. It's so important that our flashes fire exactly when we want them to and recycle super fast. Nothing more frustrating than seeing the bride hoisted up on the groom's shoulders on the dance floor, both belting out the chorus to Mr. Brightside and us missing the shot because our flash didn't recycle in time. That's where Eneloop Pro batteries come in. Panasonic's top-of-the-range rechargeables are the only batteries I use now and for quite a while. I'm not alone either. I know loads of my photographer friends and colleagues only use Eneloop Pros too. With their high capacity, they're perfect for my flashes, and the only reason I miss the shot now is down to my own ineptitude, not because the flash didn't fire. It's good to know I'm playing a small part in helping the environment by using rechargeables as well. And another bonus of Eneloop Pros is that they have such a low self-discharge. If you store them fully charged, they still retain 85% of their charge after a year. Perfect for those times where, for whatever reason, you may not have been shooting much in a while. Thanks to Panasonic for sponsoring this episode. Head to thisisreportage.com to see a link through to the Eneloop Pro product page for more information. Hi and welcome to episode 71 of the This is Reportage podcast. My name is Alan Law. I'm the founder of This is Reportage and This Reportage family, and I'm a photographer too. I'm thrilled to be chatting to the fab Marek Troszczynski today. Marek was joint 28th in the world on TIR in 2020 and joint 24th on This Reportage family. This is a man who really knows his stuff when it comes to documentary photography. But not only is he a fantastic photographer, he's a truly lovely guy too. Really enjoy chatting with him. Tune in today as Marek talks all about his experience of being a groom himself and thus on the other side of the camera, how and why he became a photographer, shooting a wedding with 1,000 guests, the story behind one of his specific Reportage Awards, photographing his own family, and so much more. Hey Marek, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am, yeah, good. I'm good, thanks. I'm good. How are things with you?
We okay. Just, surviving in a current reality. Kids back at school at the moment, so
Yeah.
my wife went out with the little one, so I'm here at home, peace and quiet.
Oh yeah, it's quite nice, isn't it? It's quite nice.
Yeah.
But how many kids have you got?
I've got 3. I've got 2 that live with us permanently, sort of in a house, and I've got my oldest son with my previous partner that lives in London, so he's with us on weekends and holidays.
Okay, nice, cool. And were you homeschooling a lot then over the last couple of months?
Yes, yeah, we are. It's not too bad. The kids sort of they quite enjoy it, they quite like it, so it's no problem.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I mean, yeah. How did you find it? Not too stressful, It's quite nice having them around a bit more, wasn't it? It was nice.
We really enjoyed just spending time with our kids, so it's no problem. Just like getting to know them a bit more. And our little one is 2, and it's just a great age. She's just turning from like baby to a little human, and it's just a joy to witness that, to be honest.
Oh, that's cool. I think I get a real good sense from, I've met you a couple of times and just from your website as well, and that you're very much a really family focused guy. And I think that really comes across. So I think it's lovely. You talk a lot about your family on your website, which I think is lovely. And I love the reason why your business is called Blue Lily Weddings, which I think is lovely. So for our listeners who may not know why, can you tell us why it's called that?
So my boy's favorite color is blue, and my daughter's favorite flower at the time was lily.
Oh, that's so nice, man. Has she changed her favorite flower then now? Is it different?
Yeah, I think it might be. I don't know, to be honest.
You're not going to change your business name like every few weeks when she has a different favorite flower.
Like a poison ivy.
Yeah. Blue poison ivy weddings. That would be cool.
No, his favorite color now is black, so it would be black poison ivy. Weddings.
You should gotta do it. That'd be funny, changing your business name every month.
Not sure whether that would be too good for the business.
No, that's true. Oh, that is lovely though, man. I think it's really lovely naming your business after, something really personal to them.
I mean, I really couldn't use my name as a business.
It's slightly harder to pronounce, that's all, than Blue Lily Weddings. I think slightly different. More difficult. I hope I say it right when I do the introduction. I hope I say it right. You'll have to let me know afterwards if I say it right.
Yeah, I think it's right enough.
Okay, it's okay. So Matt, yeah, how was, I'm asking everyone this because it's obviously, pertinent to the times as well. How was last year for you? How was 2020?
Ups and downs, but kind of okay. As we really try to focus on positive things. Like, for example, there wasn't so much work, so work-wise, obviously, it wasn't great. But we spent time with kids. Everyone is healthy. We have roof over our head. We have food in the fridge, and plenty of free time. We could just enjoy the summer, which I wouldn't otherwise, because I would be just swamped with work. So
That's true. Yeah, that is true.
obviously, it's not always rosy, but on the whole, I think I enjoyed the year myself.
Oh, that's good, man. That's really good to hear.
Yeah, and I think we bonded as a family as well, more than we would otherwise.
That is true, isn't it? That is a good side effect of all this. Yeah, and I felt the same actually. It has been lovely seeing my kids more. But I'm also quite happy that they're back at school now as well, actually.
Yes, I think it's a nice balance, and I think they also need that too. At least my kids, they just my daughter, she's turning 5 now, and she just loves school. She's so social.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, she just loves being around her friends.
Oh, yeah, that's been tough for them not seeing their friends, isn't it? And just having to put up with with me. Putting up with me a lot is pretty tough, I think, for any child. But yeah, it's good. It's great when they really like school. That's really good.
Yes.
And how many weddings were you able to capture last year?
I think I've checked recently because I wasn't sure, and I think like 12 maybe or something like that.
Oh wow, that's quite a lot. Were a lot of those small COVID weddings?
All of them COVID, apart from 2. So I shot one in March, just before the lockdown, which was a full wedding, right. Lovely. And I've shot one wedding. So in for the whole February, we went to South Africa, to Cape Town with the family.
Oh wow!
Just before the season was supposed to start.
Wow.
And I managed to sort of second shoot on one wedding with Linda Voss. She's also a member of.
Yes, I've seen you two kind of just occasional messages on Facebook. I think I've seen you two interact. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, she's absolutely amazing. So she took me with her, and we shot this wedding in sort of in the hills, like close to Cape Town. It was just amazing, beautiful, and so different from weddings in UK.
Although really? In what way?
The groom was British. But
oh, okay, cool. That must have been an experience. Yeah. In what way was it different to kind of UK weddings then?
Much more relaxed, like just a bit less structure and just laughter all over. And if things were like running behind, no one really cared. Even though they spend a lot of money on the wedding, I think they really focus on the most important thing: is just have fun and connect with the family and friends.
Oh, that's the best, isn't it? That's always the best way. Well, that's cool. How did you know Linda beforehand then? Were you specifically, were you going over specifically to do that wedding?
No, we went to South Africa. It was our second time we went to South Africa. It's just for the winter before the season starts. We've got some friends there.
Oh, cool.
And it's Southern Hemisphere, so it's hot, and it's just amazing country. I mean, landscape is we just love it there. It's just so beautiful.
Oh, cool.
And so, yeah, we went, when we got there, I thought like, oh, it's our second year. It's so amazing. I know there's wedding photography is quite big in Cape Town. So I just sent some emails to wedding photographers, and she got back to me. She's like, yeah, let's do it. So I'm like,
yeah, that's cool. Oh, that's really cool. That's good, isn't it? That's really good.
She's really an amazing person.
Oh, that's cool. And she's a really good photographer as well. She's won
numerous.
Yes. Cool. That's cool, Matt. Okay, Matt. So, Marek, let's delve right into your story. How did you become a photographer? What's your tale?
All right. Yeah.
It's quite a big one to drop in.
Well, should I start from the beginning? Obviously, I grew up in Poland. I moved to UK when I was 20 in 2001.
Okay. Oh, you're giving away your age, man. Giving away your age.
Yeah. And I lived in London for like, I don't know, maybe 12 years or so.
Right.
And mostly work in the bars and pubs, and open like in the evenings and weekends. And I've got quite a bit of time on my hands sort of in the daytime. So I always love photography. So I just got myself a camera. I was just shooting and getting better.
Oh, cool. Well, like street photography stuff or?
Just anything like landscape, bugs. I just loved like going to the park for the whole day with my camera, just
That's
crouching
cool.
in the grass and just staying there for like hours, just trying to find like flies and bugs and bumblebees and anything.
Oh, that's cool, man. Wow, cool. That's cool.
And yeah, and eventually I thought like, it would be amazing to try to sort of make it as a living, try to make some
Mhm.
money out of it. And I thought wedding photography is probably the safest bet, although it might be quite stressful because you need to deal with people and
Mhm.
all this. But yeah, I've sent like at the moment that I make the decision that I want to do it, I've sent like literally hundreds of emails to all the wedding photographers I could find online.
Oh, cool. Well, all around London, like
Just
photographers.
everywhere, all over UK, but mostly
Oh, wow.
local. And
I never got one in Cornwall, man. Never saw one to me.
yeah, I think I was London. I think I Googled like London wedding photo, and one of them got back to me, and she just straight away gave me like a lot of weddings, and I was first shooting. I never even second shoot in my life, and straight away I was like making shooting a big wedding somewhere in like
Wow. On your own.
mansion, like big budget wedding. It was
Wow. Totally on your own. Yeah.
totally on my own. Yeah, she just trusted me completely.
Wow. The images you sent her must have been good then for her to have that faith in you.
Yeah, and I think maybe she wanted to make some money out of me as well. I don't know.
Capitalism, man, capitalism. Oh, but that's really wow. You really went for it though. Then were you?
Yeah.
What was that? Can you remember that first wedding? Though, how were you feeling on that very first wedding?
I think it's all a blur. I think I was just so like it was so such high emotions for me and everything. I think I just played it cool like most of the time, but
Gosh, and you did okay. You must have done pretty. You must have done okay on that first wedding then.
I've done okay. You know what's the funniest thing? That this wedding was actually I think featured on like one of the wedding blogs. I don't know if it was
Wow.
Rock My Wedding or Love My Dress.
Your very first wedding that you shot got featured. That's very
Yeah,
cool.
I'm not gonna mention the name of the lady who I was working for, but she just put her name on that wedding. My name was never mentioned.
Oh no! Oh, that's not good. Okay, that's not good.
So it was bittersweet when I saw it published because she never said it. She never said it to me. I just found out by accident,
Oh
seeing my
man.
pictures.
That's weird. That's what a strange way to kind of it's like a baptism of fire that is, and a baptism of fire in the kind of marketing world as well. Yeah, very odd.
Yeah.
So what?
No
So
regrets, no
did you
regrets.
get quite a few weddings from her then? Did you?
Yeah, yes. And at the same moment, I started working with another company. I don't know if I can mention them or not, but I had really good. I still work for them from time to time.
It's totally up to you if you want to mention it or
Yeah,
not.
it's Pink Daisy Wedding, and they are run by Paige. And already I had some portfolio from other weddings that I was not allowed to show, online, but I could show it to her. And then she employed me, and then I started working with her and
Okay.
shooting like starting from 10, 20, 30, 40 weddings a year.
Well, right. Gosh. And did you have Blue Lily? Did you have your own brand at that time as well? The Blue Lily wedding.
It was sort of transitioning from one to another. So
Okay. Cool.
at the moment when I really decided to go on my own, I really heavily invested in like marketing just to try to get customers at the beginning.
Okay. In what kind of investment? In what? In SEO and social media and stuff, or?
SEO, I know SEO I wasn't quite good at it, and I knew it's gonna be a long run. So the first thing I really invested in it was Google Ads, and it really worked for me. Like it's everything started from Google Ads for me. So I spent quite a bit of money to get first weddings, but once I got the first weddings, who paid for the Google Ads, it sort of started rolling, and from then I was able to cover my marketing costs and just do it for a living, just for myself.
That's cool, man. It's great. It's a cool, inspiring story. I love how you just like proper went for it. I mean, you're proper proactive as well, which I think is really cool. Similar with me, for AdWords was a big thing for me as well. Actually, I luckily at the time I got like £150 of free clicks at the time, so I just used all them and got business that way, whilst my SEO stuff was working up in the background. And so similar as well. Yeah, cool, man. When was that? What? Yeah. So when was that? When did you start? When? What were you? Can't talk. What year was your first wedding?
Well, my very first wedding, I think, was actually a wedding I shot for my friends back in Poland.
Oh, cool.
It was, yeah, I wouldn't put it on my website, definitely not. But I have to thank them; they trusted in me. But that must have been like maybe 12 years ago. But then it was. I think Blue Lady weddings really kicked off around maybe sort of 7 years ago, 6 years ago.
Okay, cool. Cool. You're still pretty fresh, man. You're still new. You're so good, and you've not been doing it long at all. It's really cool. It's really cool.
I think like in 2019, I shot something like 55 weddings, so I'm catching up quickly.
55, man, in a season. That is hardcore. That is hardcore. Gosh.
But some of them, you know what? I prefer, like, for me personally, and from psychological point of view, I prefer to shoot more weddings, and they maybe not even charge that much for them, and then I don't feel so much pressure on myself, and I feel like I enjoy them more in a sense.
That's cool. I understand that. Yeah, totally. I think that's what's so cool about what we do as well, is that people can run their businesses in all different ways, and the only way that matters is what makes you happy, what's good for you. So
absolutely.
Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, man. I mean, it's what you mentioned about wedding in Poland there. What are Polish weddings? Are they similar to UK or very different as well? Or
very similar and different. Obviously, people get married and it's usually in the church. But I think the biggest difference for Polish wedding, at least from the times when I lived in Poland, which was 20 years ago, which could have changed a bit, was it was very heavy with alcohol. So
cool.
As a bride and groom, you can never refuse like a shot of vodka, which is in Poland sometimes it's 100 milliliters. So it's like
that sounds dangerous. You can
have a wedding with like a few hundred people where by midnight everyone is blacked out from alcohol. and then you have fights. You have like people.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
Have you actually ever seen a fight? I've never seen a fight at a wedding. Have you seen one?
No, I haven't. No.
Would you photograph it if you were capturing a wedding and there was a fight? Would you photograph it?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Maybe back in the days, I'm not sure, but now, I mean, if it was very serious and I see maybe someone can really get hurt, I would try to maybe help people out.
Yeah.
Maybe a sneaky photo in the meantime.
I know, it's weird, isn't it? There would be a bit of a moral quandary, I guess.
I guess it would depend on the situation, because you just have to judge it by the moment.
Yeah, that is true. That is what we have to do each case, isn't it? But touch wood. I'm going to touch wood anyway. I don't want to see a fight at a wedding. I don't want to see that. But yeah. Anyway, interesting. Let's get off fighting at wedding. Let's change the subject, man. You say on your site, I don't know how recent it was, but like you said, like being a groom semi-recently, it gave you good perspective on how it is to be on the other side of the camera at a wedding, which I think is cool. So yeah, can you tell us more about that? You know, was it hard to choose your photographer, for example? Were you a working wedding photographer when you got married?
Yes, I was. So then that was the season when a second shoot with a friend of mine. He's also a Polish guy who lives in London.
Okay, cool.
And it was just natural because he was such a good friend and we just got along well. And I think I almost value his company more than the photography itself. I mean, he's a great photographer. Is no.
Oh, okay.
No. So and my wife is Swedish, so we got married in Sweden.
Oh, cool, nice, wow.
In the woods, it was amazing. We had the reception in log cabin, 50 people, just perfect for us, surrounded by lakes.
Oh man, that sounds proper lush. Was it an outside ceremony?
Yes, it was. Yeah. And nice. We were very lucky because on the day it was sunny, it was just perfect. There was like a huge dragonfly which landed on Jana's arm just during the ceremony.
Oh wow, cool.
And the day later was like a huge hailstorm and everything got destroyed at the same time. So if we got married a day later, it would be a good one to photograph maybe.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Oh, but that was meant to be then. That's really lovely, man. That's really nice. And what was it like then? You know, were you watching the photographer all the time? As you know, because it must be when I was a groom, I wasn't doing wedding photography then. So I imagine it'd be quite different for me if I was getting married now. You know, were you watching him all the time?
No, I would say I was, again, it was so emotionally charged that I just didn't see him. Even if he had a camera in my face, I just didn't see him. He was just like, he didn't exist for me, which was very, very interesting for me because after the wedding, I thought, you know what, if people trust you, you can really get close and you can do almost whatever they want and they will not notice you as much as you might think they will, you know. It might be an odd uncle or an auntie who you are in the way of, and they might do something. But I think bride and groom, I never felt anything like that from them. And from my perspective, being a groom, I would say, I just didn't notice him at all.
Oh, that's cool, man. It's great to have that insight into it, isn't it? Now as well, I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it definitely gave me more courage shooting the weddings after that. Just to do whatever I wanted to get the shot. Obviously, not jumping in front of them in the church ceremony.
Yeah, I can't imagine you do.
Limits, I guess.
No, but that is cool. That's really cool. I imagine it'd be strange now if I was to get married again. Like, who to choose a photographer would be so difficult. Maybe I'll do like a 20-year vow renewal or something. That'd be fun.
I can give you a discount.
Yeah, okay, man.
10%. No, 25.
Oh man, no, awesome. And how did your wife did your wife did she like the photos? I guess she must like the photos.
Yeah, everyone loved the photos. We have them in a big album, and we have them printed on the walls. Yeah, we love them. It's just such an amazing memory, special day. All the friends and family together. It was the first time part of my family came from Poland. The first time our parents met, and yeah, it was cool. Just a very special moment because of that.
Oh man, sounds lovely. I'd love to go to Sweden, as I've never been to Sweden. So, is it nice?
I highly recommend it. It's amazing. We're still considering it maybe retirement in Sweden because it's such a peaceful and just beautiful country, and not many people living there, so you can be just completely surrounded by nature and just mind your own business.
That sounds nice. That does sound nice. Have you ever shot a wedding there?
I have shot 3 weddings in Sweden.
Oh wow, really cool. Gosh, man, it's awesome how much you get around, dude. You get around. It's awesome. What are Swedish weddings like then?
Quite relaxed. All of them were a bit different, but yeah, again surrounded by. One of them was my wife's brother.
Okay, yeah.
And a few photos from that wedding actually got some awards. I think a couple of them got award in Reportage.
Oh, cool. Which ones?
The one with when the girl is blowing the balloons.
Oh yes, yeah. Oh yeah. Cool. Another one.
The one during the speech when I shot from outside. So through the door, and the bride and groom, you can see them through the window.
Yes, I know which one you mean as well. Oh, that's really interesting. That's cool.
Yeah. So the bride and groom is my brother-in-law, I think. Yeah, my wife's brother.
That's cool, man. Both great images as well. If anyone's listening now, I'll include them on the post that includes this podcast episode as well. So yeah, head to thisreportage.com and be able to see them. That's cool. That's really interesting, dude. Really interesting.
Yeah, I think on the whole, Swedish people, very relaxed. I loved it. I think shooting different weddings, different countries, different cultures, it's such a privilege. It's just like so eye-opening. Like even shooting like Indian or African weddings, I'm like, you have so much insight into the world that I would have never experienced this way. And I think it's just amazing in a way.
That is true, isn't it? Yeah, that's really true. Did you have any kind of destinations booked in for 2020 that had to postpone or anything? That's like the best thinking noise ever. I love that. I'm definitely keeping that in, man.
I don't remember. I know I have one in June that I'm supposed to shoot in France, in Bordeaux.
Oh, right.
And that's a family of another bride that I've shot before, like a couple of years ago, and I really, really would love to do that. I hope it's going to go ahead.
Touch wood, man. Touch wood. Fingers crossed for you. I've had all my weddings before the June 21st date this year, have all postponed now. So yeah, one postponed to June 22nd, the day after the restrictions are supposed to be lifted. So yeah. Fingers crossed. Yeah, it's so much. Like I've had couples postponing weddings, I think for 5 times. Oh, 5 times, really? Gosh.
And eventually cancelling on me because I couldn't do the last date. And it's just like, oh my God, I just spent like hours emailing and rewriting the contracts and everything. And now it's like for nothing,
Yeah, that's
what it is. I just putting ourselves in their shoes, I think it's not easy for them.
No, I guess it's true. It's true. It's not easy for any of us, is it? Oh, man. But... yeah, just second half of 2021 has got to be better than the last like 18 months, so.
I mean, fingers crossed, but nothing is certain.
No, that's true, isn't it? And obviously I have no idea. I'm just fingers crossed, touching wood on my wooden iPhone case. Yeah. Anyway, let's change. Let's go more positive, man. Let's change again. Let's change. Let's do our little Netflix game. Do you watch much Netflix?
Yeah, we obviously do. I mean, there's no other way.
No, that's true, isn't it? Obviously, that is so true. Yeah, that is so true. Okay, man. So if you've listened to the podcast before, the concept. I'm going to read out some Netflix synopsis of a series or film, and let's see if you can get it from the synopsis. Okay, you ready?
Right, yeah.
Okay, so first one is a film or a movie, whatever you want to say. Okay, so pursuing a master crook with a hefty supply of heroin, a pair of Miami narcotics cops must pull off a convincing act to protect a witness. This is quite an old film.
I don't know.
Shall I give you a clue?
Nope, I really
I'll give you a clue. It's got Will Smith in it and Martin Lawrence.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about, but it's just got out of my head.
Oh, yeah, it's Bad Boys.
Bad Boys, yeah, Bad Boys, yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen that in years, actually. It's a good film. It's a good film.
Yeah.
Okay, man. Okay, 0 out of 1 so far. So you can only get better. Okay, another one. This is a series. A crew of car lovers tests the limits of luxury vehicles in this hit show that also features celebrities racing on a test track.
Top Gear, of course.
Yes, boom, nice. I never watched that, you know.
To be so big, I think on BBC, it was huge. It was show number 1, I think, in England.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah. Are you into cars?
Not that much. I like them driving me from place to place. But
they're handy for that. Yeah, I'm not really into cars either. Really, they just cost so much money all the time. It's annoying.
Yeah, they're not cheap. Yeah, it's good to have them, but I think especially like living in London, for example, it's just so much traffic. It's just whenever I go over, it's just
oh yeah,
all the time. It's too many of those cars, too many cars.
Yeah, totally. I guess it's a bit in Cornwall. It's different, obviously. But whenever I do weddings in London, I never drive. I always just get Ubers or use the tube or something.
Yeah, around where we live in Southeast Kent, right in the corner, it's like it's no traffic at all, so it's nice.
Oh, nice one. I've never been to Kent. I think I don't know.
Yeah, so. we just live 5 minutes from the beach, which is Camber Sands. I don't know if you've heard of it. But
I have heard of that actually.
It's really lovely. Like, highly recommend. You're more than welcome to come.
Oh, that'd be nice. That'd be lovely. And you're very welcome to come down to Cornwall as well. Have you ever shot down here?
No, I haven't. I've been to Cornwall once, and that was like 15 years ago, and I loved it. I was so surprised you can have such beautiful blue water in UK. Like, it was amazing.
Did you swim in the water?
I kite surfed in it.
Did you?
So
cool.
As well, yeah.
Oh, I've never done that. Is that fun?
I love it. I'm completely addicted to kite surfing. That's the reason actually that why we live there, because my other job back in the days, I was a kite surfing instructor for a while.
Oh, wow. Cool.
My wife is as well, and because we live 5 minutes, Camber Sands, I think, is the best beach in UK for kite surfing.
Oh, cool.
And on the other side, you've got the other beach that works with the other wind direction. And it's just amazing. The sort of the amount of G-force you can exert on your body with control. I think you cannot compare it to anything else.
Oh man, I should give it a go. Although I've never actually just normally surfed, and I can't remember last time I used a kite. So putting them two together, I think I would be very bad at that.
You know what? You won't know until you try, because I think it's much easier than you might think at first.
Okay, I'll have to give it a go. The
one time, I'll give you a lesson.
Yeah, man, let's do it. Honestly, that would be really cool. My wife would love that as well. She'd love us to get in the water more as well. That sounds good. Let's do it. End of the pandemic coming down. Yeah, cool. Okay, but last one on the Netflix one. You ready for this last one?
Yes.
Okay, this is a movie or a film again. I don't know why I say that, but anyway. Okay, Academy Award nominated filmmaker Noah Baumbach directs this incisive and compassionate look at a marriage coming apart and a family staying together.
I have no idea.
Yeah, that is a little bit obscure, I think, actually. It is obscure. It's got it's a Netflix film. It's got the guy in that plays, is it Kylo Ren or something in the Star Wars films? Is that his name?
So I know the guy who plays Kylo Ren, but I haven't seen him in any other movie, so I'm pretty sure I haven't seen the movie you mentioned.
Oh, okay, cool. It's good. It's called Marriage Story.
Okay, yeah.
Is it
good?
Good.
Have you seen it?
Yes, it is good. Yeah, it is. It is good. It's got I can't think of the actress in it now as well. Oh man.
I will check it out, I think, yeah.
Oh, it's got the actress in from Lost in Translation, Scarlett Johansson as well.
Yeah. Yeah, we do like. Yeah.
I love that film. Have you seen Lost in Translation?
Yeah, we have. Yeah. I think there's one scene when I think it's from Japanese, right? When there's this one person saying something that lasts like 2 minutes, and the translator says something like "thank you" or like that.
Yes. It is really funny and it's beautiful. I love it. Although we went to see it at the cinema years ago because it's an old film, isn't it? And honestly, about half an hour into it, about 20 people all got up and just left. They just didn't like it. They literally left. Oh, that's really weird.
People are different. So
yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, man. Let's go on. Let's go back to photography. Okay.
yes.
So what do you find, Marek? What do you find the most challenging aspect of wedding photography to be?
What the most challenging? I think for me personally, what I sometimes struggle the most is just so many points that can go wrong. So like you have to organize yourself and just put everything together. Like, it's quite a lot of points of failure, if you know what I mean. Like the camera equipment or maybe getting stuck in traffic, getting there and stuff like this.
Well, have you ever had any horror stories like that? Have you ever not made it to the ceremony?
I think I've never really missed a wedding, but a few times I was stuck in traffic. And even like 2 weeks ago, I was going to London to shoot a micro wedding, and I was stuck in traffic. I always leave like 2 hours early, and I was stuck in traffic for an hour. But it's such an unpleasant feeling when you're just stuck in standstill traffic.
That's pure stress, isn't it?
Yeah,
that is true. You're right there. There are so many things that could go wrong. I think that's why this job, it lends itself to a certain type of person that is not, I guess, risk averse. You've got to be able to handle that kind of thing, haven't you? And a lot of people are put off doing weddings because of that.
Yeah, I think for me, what helps me is having a routine. So I sort of make sure that I won't forget anything. And I think once I'm starting to shoot, everything goes away, and it's just trying to find good shots and connect with people and all that.
That's cool. What kind of routine do you have then? Do you have like a checklist before you leave the house or something cool?
Yeah, an evening before I prepare I charge the batteries, I check, I sort of put the same time on all the cameras.
Oh yeah.
I start new folders on the cameras, make sure everything works, to do a few trial shots. I iron all my things, so it's like, a little bit of a routine.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, it's good just to get you kind of in that good kind of flow, peaceful mindset, really, isn't it, to do, I think. Do you know what? The only time I iron any clothes is for weddings. I just iron my shirt on the morning. That's it. We never iron anything else in this house at all.
Same here.
Yeah. my mother-in-law irons socks, which is a bit strange, I think.
If she likes that, I mean, maybe it's her therapy. I don't know.
That's true. Maybe it is. Okay, but Marek, something else on your site that I noticed is how you say you shot weddings for 5 to 1,005 people. Man, have you really shot a wedding with over 1,000 guests?
Yeah, I've shot some Indian weddings, and that was right at the beginning. I shot one Indian wedding that had I think 1,200 people.
Wow.
And that was in London, but it was like 2 huge Indian temples together, and was just people everywhere.
So that is amazing. Literally, honestly, I think the max I've ever shot is 250. So I've never anything like that. I can't even imagine. Did you have multiple shooters, or was it just you?
It was just me. And you know what? Because the bride and groom hired me, I thought I'm going to be the only shooter. But there was 4 other photographers. One of them hired by parents of the groom, one of them parents of the bride.
Oh, wow. How did you get on with that?
Yeah, some of them set up a studio setup, lamps and everything. And I was just like, wow, I don't know what's going on.
Wow, yeah. I've heard stories of that happening, but that's never happened to me. So that must be strange. How did you handle that? Did you talk to the other photographers and
No. I was nice with everyone, obviously, but otherwise I just did my thing. I just felt like I can only do my best. They do what they do, and if that sort of makes my work a bit, the results will not be as good. They know it. Obviously, they have to know it. So
that's true, isn't it? Yeah, that's true. And I guess it's similar if you like working with videographers as well. You're both just there to do your job, and you just got to get on and do your job. Do you work often with videographers?
I would say maybe 10% of my weddings have a videographer.
Not many.
Not many. I've noticed that on a day I can't sometimes get a little bit pissed off with them.
Okay.
Especially if it's a friend of a friend and wearing puffer jacket in the middle of the ceremony, in the church. But at the end of the day, I found that I always can deliver good results, even if I have videographers. I can always find an angle, and at the end, it
That's
never
cool.
really hindered my work too much. So.
Oh, that's good stuff, man. That's good stuff. Did you hire a videographer for your wedding, by the way?
No, we didn't have one.
No, we didn't either. That's funny, that, isn't it? I guess this is a photography podcast, so we're going to be more into photography than videography.
I think I would never watch it. I don't know, like.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be nice to watch occasionally, but then, I mean, how often do you look at your wedding photos?
I think if we didn't have the album printed, which is downstairs in the living room, probably I would watch them maybe once a year on the anniversary.
Yeah, it's true, isn't it? Oh, but it's nice you've got them printed then. That's a good thing.
Yeah, and the kids sometimes look through them and we have a laugh together, so that's nice.
Nah, that's all good, all good. Although loads of photographers now, more and more getting into videography, aren't they? You're not being tempted to kind of make that switch?
I'm definitely not tempted to do the switch, but since we have those cameras that can take amazing videos, and since the lockdown, at the beginning of lockdown, I was just doing videos of our family life.
Oh, okay, cool.
And I really enjoyed it. Even though it was a year ago, now we look back at some of them with the kids, and I've put music to them, and I have to say it's another dimension, and I love that I've shot those videos. It really froze the moment in time.
That's cool.
Especially with behavior of our kids, that sometimes the photographs will not show it as much.
No, that's so true, isn't it? And I was going to ask actually about your family and stuff, because as well as winning loads of awards on our wedding site, you've also won loads on our family site, which is amazing. And I love that there's a quote on your family bio where you say, "I love documenting real, honest, messy moments which make our lives ours, and so imperfectly perfect," which I think is lovely. So yeah, I just how frequently are you photographing your own family, and do your kids know that they're in like award-winning images?
I'm not sure they know. I don't think they know, to be honest.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
But I have ever since I switched or I got one mirrorless camera, I just love using it so much because it's just such a joy to use, and it's always on a shelf in the house. So whenever there's something happening, that's interesting. And having 3 kids those ages in the house, it's like always something happening. I just grab the camera and just like play with it a little bit. I never overdo it, but just a few minutes here and there. And I have to say, I think I have a little bit of an unfair advantage on other photographers who haven't got kids, because it's just so much easier for me to catch those family moments.
Oh, I know, I get that, but I don't know what we can, but it's all just totally valid though. Photos of your own family, it's still family photography.
Absolutely, and they are honest and completely unscripted, and yeah.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. I think that's such a good tip, to have a camera just around, so you don't have to delve into like your camera bag and get it out. I think that's a big difference. I should do that more. Just keep one around. Even when we go for walks, most of the time I take the camera with me, and most of the time I don't even take it out. But I few times something happened on a walk, and I'm like, the face expression of my kid, the composition, the light is perfect. Like, I can't believe I have my camera with me. This moment is just amazing. So ever since then, I just have it always on me in a little pouch next to my shoulder. And oh, that's cool. Yeah, I guess they're so used to you taking photos as well. They hardly notice when you've got the camera up to you.
They don't really. They're just in their own world. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool, man. That's cool. It's a side benefit, isn't it, of being a photographer, is that you get these wonderful images of your kids that maybe loads of people don't get, just because, most people don't ever hire a family photographer, I think. Although hopefully it's going to happen more and more. But it is a really great side benefit of what we do.
I think so. I think there's so much value in it. In a way, I love wedding photography, but I think if you get the family photography well, it's almost more valuable in a way, because it's just everyday life and it's how life is. So in this way, it's, like you mentioned, it's just more honest, and the memory is more sort of true. It's how it really was,
Yeah. It's an awesome thing, and you're so right there. Weddings are so important to capture, but family life as well is so important. With starting this Reportage family, it's really just made me appreciate both so much, and I've started photographing my own family more as well, which has been a great side effect. So.
I have to say I'm really grateful that you started that side of the Reportage, because it really definitely gave me a push.
Oh, that's cool.
With more of it, and then just getting inspired by other photographers also.
Yeah, and there's some absolutely amazing photographers out there as well.
And then just puts a smile on your face. Just.
That's true. Yeah, it's a joy to look at those images.
Absolutely. I love documentary family photography. I think it's my favorite type of photography just to look at.
No, that's cool. Are you going to do more, because you shoot a lot of your own family? Are you going to do more kind of family photography for other clients and stuff as well?
I wish I could. I definitely, but it's just not that easy to market, and it's not so easy to get custom. You know, like I have even friends who have kids, and I'm like, I come and shoot your family for free, and they're just like, yeah, okay, let's do it, and they never call me.
Oh, that's such a loss. That major loss. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they don't see the value until it's done. That's the problem. I mean, maybe we should work a bit more on like marketing it and selling it better, because I think it's.
Yeah, because it's a brilliant thing, and that's totally one of the reasons as well is doing TIR family, just to hopefully raise the kind of prominence of it as a thing that people can get, you know, just to show them, look, this is the amazing kind of memories and real moments you can capture, and because I think, as you say, a lot of people don't even realize that it exists as a service, really.
Yes, yeah. I just need to get it out there a bit more. So I think, yeah, you starting that side of the reportage it's a great step forward in that direction.
Oh, that's cool, man. Cool. And thank you for being such a massive part of it. And you've won loads of awards now, which is awesome. You're just such a good photographer, man. And let's go back to weddings. So one of your specific reportage awards that I love, it's a black and white shot where on the left-hand side of the frame, it looks like the bride and I think maybe her dad, I'm not sure, are about to embrace. And then on the right-hand side, there's a woman like watching from outside the room. Do you know which one I mean?
Yeah, I know which one. And
it's this very cool kind of split frame image. And can you tell us about that?
Yeah, this is a bride and her dad just after they did the bride and dad dance. And this is from the South African wedding. So
cool.
You know, I never really get to shoot as a second shooter, but then I had complete freedom and I could do whatever I wanted, and that's why I just went outside like 100 meters away and was trying to shoot them through the window and different angles. And I have to say, second shooting is really great if you want to just, especially if there's not much pressure on you. I think it's great if you just want to experiment with photography a bit more.
That makes sense, actually. I need to do that more, definitely. It does make sense, because the perspective you got there in that shot is something totally different, which probably you wouldn't have got if you were just shooting the wedding on your own, would you? I don't think you would have, really.
I mean, maybe I'm sort of trying to lean a bit more into it now. So I got really just don't shoot the safe shots all the way through the first dance, for example, but just the first few shots, make sure it's safe, they look good, very nicely framed, and then just look around and really try to see if you can do something more with it, use the architecture or lighting or anything.
Yeah, that makes sense. Nah, that's cool.
Yeah, I think second shooting really helps if you want to just be creative and just, yeah.
That totally makes sense, man. And that image is great, though. It's just such a cool different perspective, and there's a lot of composition and like frame within the frames, and yeah, it's just great, really cool. And really interesting to hear your thoughts on that as well. So again, anyone now, if they're exercising, or what else do people do when they listen to podcasts? What do you do whilst listening to podcasts, Marek?
So before, when I was busier with weddings, I always listened to the podcasts when editing photos.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's true, isn't it? It's a good thing to do that. And I used to listen to it while driving, like to weddings, or the day before, driving up to my hotel as well and stuff.
Yeah, I usually, when I run and I drive the car, I usually listen to audiobooks, just to get a bit more lost in the story.
That makes sense.
Yeah, podcast definitely when I'm editing, it's great.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So if you're doing that now, or if anyone who's listening, you may be editing, if you've been shooting, I don't know, but if you have, hopefully that was good. But yeah, head to thisreportage.com and I'll include that specific reportage award that Marek just spoke about as well. Okay, Marek, let's move on. Marek, what annoys you in life?
Not too many things recently.
That's good. You sound very chilled, man. You do.
I think it's an influence of my wife and like doing a bit of meditation and yoga and just doing sports and everything, and just like there's really nothing to worry about as long as we are, I think, healthy and not in pain. Life can be enjoyed almost no matter where you are in the world and no matter what you do.
Oh man, that's really cool. That's really lovely. You are a very positive person.
Yeah, I try to be. I think sometimes maybe people's ignorance. So people voicing opinions when they're not really sure what they don't know all the facts, but they sound like they just know everything. And I think maybe it's too much of it in the world. Like people being very opinionated without knowing the facts. So I think you would call it being ignorant.
Totally agree with that as well. Yeah, totally agree with that. Have you ever met or photographed anyone famous?
You can't say that actually. One of the first weddings I ever shot, and that was for Paige. So it was a lovely couple, and I shot their wedding. Everything was great. That wedding is still on my website. That's amazing. That's a wedding from like 10 years ago, I think.
Wow, that is cool, man. Yeah.
And then when I was sending the photos to them, I realized that the bride, she starred in one of, I think it was the most popular series running in UK for like many years.
Oh, like EastEnders or Coronation Street?
So she was in EastEnders, and then there was this thing, Dancing on Ice with the Stars, and she got like second place in it. So I guess
cool.
It's a celebrity event, but I just didn't know that when I shot the wedding.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's cool though, man. Oh, who was it? I want to know. Which actress was it?
Her name is Zara Abrahams.
Okay, cool. I'm not an EastEnders fan, so I don't know, but that's very cool.
I'm not sure if it was EastEnders or Emmerdale or one of those.
Okay, cool.
But absolutely amazing couple and such an emotional wedding. It was just perfect.
Oh man, are you looking forward to shooting again properly? You must be.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. I love being busy. I love creating value as well for others. So.
Oh yeah.
And I think my photography sort of is developing in the right way, in the right direction, really the way I would like it to look. So I'm just bursting with like just going there and just expressing myself.
Oh, that's all good, man. Good. Fingers crossed it's all going to happen this year.
Fingers crossed. Otherwise, it's more family shooting.
Oh yeah, but that's all good as well. It's all good, and you're so good at that as well. Yeah,
it's good. It can get a little bit repetitive, but I think now the season's changing, and I hope the spring is coming. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, that's true. Getting outside a bit more. Getting outside. I wonder if they'll have sports day at school. Sorry, that's a random thought. I just thought my son missed his first sports day last year. Although the sports day at my school, this is going on a random tangent, but they don't do like egg and spoon race or sack races anymore. It's all just very it's very serious. Yeah, it's not so good, I think.
So you mean not as childish anymore, sort of?
Yeah, and I miss that though. I think it was cool.
Should be more about fun rather than competition, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Marek, we're talking about your photography as well. And obviously, as I said before, you've won loads of awards. You're so good, dude. What would be your top tips? This is a big question. What would be your top tips to help someone become better at the documentary side of photography? And whether that's weddings or families, what would be your advice to get better at that?
I think just just observing situations better and trying to anticipate what's going to happen.
That is a big deal, isn't it?
And I find maybe for me what helps. So, for example, if I go to a wedding and it's a venue, I try to sort of scout it a little bit and at least try to find points at which there's something interesting with composition or light. Mm-hmm. And then I know that if at any moment in time I see something happening around that area, anything interesting, because moment is the most important thing, obviously. So if the moment is happening around that area, I already know quickly where to go and how to photograph it to achieve something a bit more special, to insert that moment into maybe a nice composition and nice light as well.
Yeah, that's good advice. Wow. All good stuff, man. All good stuff. And kind of the opposite to what we're just talking about is, we're asking you about good advice. Have you ever made any really memorable mistakes ever?
While shooting weddings?
Yeah. Or business mistakes, or just life mistakes, or anything really.
I've definitely done a few mistakes in my life. But that was when I was younger. When it comes to weddings, nothing specific comes to mind. Maybe
that's good.
I think this kind of classic that maybe happened to most of us, especially when back in the days when it's not just like running out of dark church and shooting outside and not changing the settings.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the photos being like overexposed.
Beauty of auto ISO though, no man. Do you use also?
Yeah. I love auto ISO. It's like my best friend. I love it.
It is great, isn't it? It's so good. Yeah. What are you shooting with at the moment then, anyway?
I'm still shooting with Nikon, but I'm just on the edge. I think if they don't come up with something really good until the wedding season picks up, I think I might be tempted to switch to Sony or Canon, because it's just purely for autofocus. It's just Nikon is not quite there, and we really need it for those moments.
Yeah, so important, isn't it? Yeah. So I changed to the A9 a couple of years ago, Sony, and I do love it, man. It's so fun. It just makes it. I just fancied a whole new changing system just kind of reinvigorate me a bit, and it really works. It's just So it's just more fun to shoot with them, I think. It's really. But you say you've got a mirrorless that you keep around the house, didn't you?
That's the Nikon Z6,
okay, cool.
which is great, but I don't know how it is. I need to play with the A9, because when I'm shooting like action backlit, for example, it's just such a small percentage of shots in focus.
Oh, really? Oh, man, honestly, with the A9, it's so good, so high hit rate. It's bad for your culling because
I need to borrow it for a day or two and just play with it in the same situations, because I know all the cameras have limitations. So I just need to play with it and see.
Yeah. You'd love it though if you try it.
I do love Nikons as well. I always shot Nikons and I do love them. So I just wish they just fix that bloody autofocus.
Maybe they'll be listening to this. I'm sure they listen every week to this Reportage podcast. They'll get on it. Dude, what is something that you really love but that most people seem to hate? That is such a random question, isn't it? And it always stumps people. I don't know why I even keep it in my little question repertoire. I think
if I prepare for that question, probably I would come up with something like smart. But otherwise, what?
It's a bizarre question, isn't it? Or you could turn it around. What's something that you hate but that most people seem to love?
You see, I don't hate many things, and I can almost like anything. So yeah, it's maybe it's a bit boring, but
it's just an awful question, man. They're just awful questions.
I think it's not a bad question if you have a good answer to it. Apparently, they're not bad questions, but I think I just nothing comes to my mind.
No, that's all good. We can move swiftly on. Has there been a specific turning point in your career at all? Something, perhaps a certain wedding or award or anything that has had like a major impact?
I think that was the moment when I sent all those emails and started shooting my first weddings in UK.
That was a big deal.
Like proper venues with couples who spent a bit of money, and I think that was it. It's just, like you said, straight into the deep water, but never looking back from that, just learning a lot. And
that's proper cool. I just think I love it that you just kind of like sent emails to all these photographers. I just love how proactive you were in that way. A lot of people wouldn't do that.
I just think I didn't have any other choice. Like, what else could I have done? But
I think a lot of people wouldn't have done it. A lot of people just, it's quite a brave thing to do, really, which I really respect. I think it's awesome.
Yeah. It was all or nothing. I thought, like, if no one comes back to me, then I can come back to trying to make a career in other things. But I think we have this, I owe it to myself to give it a go, to try it 100%, and when it doesn't work, you can move to other things. But we should try to do what we love first.
Yeah, that's so true. That's a great mindset, man. That's really cool. Marek, do you have a particular piece of software or app that you couldn't do without?
Definitely Lightroom. I just do everything in Lightroom.
Do you do anything in Photoshop?
No, not really. Maybe occasional. I don't do it very often, but a few times brides or brides' mothers ask me to like swap a smile and eyes or something like that.
Oh, right, yeah.
So I use Photoshop for that. But I think when shooting a quite large number of weddings, you really want to be efficient. And I think Lightroom is just the best for it. Photoshop is just too slow.
Yeah, no, it's cool. When you did like 50 weddings in a year and stuff, have you ever been tempted to outsource your editing?
Yes, but instead of that, I just made my sort of workflow more efficient, I think. Yeah, I use Photomechanic for culling. And I try to cull like on the go as well. So when I'm traveling somewhere, or maybe when I'm on a plane, just trying to create a system in which I can still manage everything, because I do really enjoy editing, especially if it's a good wedding. I almost can't wait to go home and look through those photos.
Oh, that's cool.
Especially the ones that I think maybe I got something good. So I wouldn't be able to outsource that in a way. It's part of the process for me.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that as well. I totally understand that. How do you normally feel, when you've shot a wedding? Do you often feel like, you've nailed it, or do you feel like you haven't got anything good from it, or just, I don't know. How do you normally feel when you finish a wedding?
I always have doubt until I look through the photos, because sometimes it's so fast paced, and I'm not quite sure whether what's the percentage of shots in focus, or whether the key moments were really like tack sharp. So I really go into culling almost as quickly as possible, just to put myself at ease.
I get that.
Normally it's like a nice surprise once I go through the photos. I'm like, wow. And sometimes I even find myself catching moments that I didn't even realize.
That's cool.
Catching at the time, which is great.
Yeah, I can't imagine using those like auto culling software, that they have now as well. I can't imagine that. Have you tried that at all?
No, I just use like I think I mentioned, the photo mechanic I use for culling. It's great.
It's so good, isn't it?
Yeah, with one finger I just scroll the photos. With the other one I just press like a star on them, and then that's it.
Yeah, cool. How much do you kind of generally shoot at an average wedding?
How many photos do I shoot in total?
Yeah.
Maybe around 5,000 to 8,000 photos.
Okay, yeah, it's a lot, isn't it? It's a lot. How long does it take you to cull?
Maybe 4 hours altogether.
Okay, yeah, that's not too bad.
It really depends from wedding to wedding as well, and it differs because sometimes I can shoot 2,000 photos at the wedding, and if there is a lot of happening and a lot of situations, I think I tend to overshoot the moment. If I see a moment is happening, then I just high burst mode, because obviously if you want to catch everything perfect, then
yeah, totally.
I can find myself like shooting 200 photos through one moment.
Yeah, but that's cool though, and then you can deliver the very best one as well, so it's all good. Yeah. But yeah, it makes culling a pain in the ass, doesn't it? It does make culling.
But then it's worth it when you get that sort of photo that you were after, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. Man, if you could, okay, random question as well, but I like this random question. If you could choose one day in your life to live over and over again, like Groundhog Day, you have seen Groundhog Day, haven't you?
I have, of course.
Yeah. Okay. If you could choose the day to live over and over again, which day would it be?
Wow, it's so many. I think it could be like birth of the kids or the wedding, or I do remember, like, I think that maybe the moment in which I felt maybe the happiest, that like pure happiness in the life, when I used to train swimming professionally in Poland back when I was younger, and
cool.
winning my first medal in a Polish championships in my age category.
Oh, cool.
It's just a feeling that I worked. It was a moment that I worked for a year, for many hours.
Oh wow, gosh, that does sound hardcore. What race was that?
That was 400 medley.
Oh right, okay.
Like you do like 100 meters each stroke, and it's quite demanding. And it was we trained so much. We definitely overtrained when we were younger.
Well, that's cool. Do you swim a lot now then? I guess with you a kite surfer, you must swim a lot as well.
I like swimming now, but I had like 10 years break when I just didn't swim at all, because it was such a love and hate relationship. I can just tell you, for example, that at the age of 15, I was at the peak of our training season. We were swimming 18 kilometers a day in a swimming pool.
Wow, man, that is proper hardcore.
Yeah, even walking this or running this is a lot. Imagine swimming that. No,
I can't imagine.
It's so boring. It's so boring.
Oh, man.
It's boring and tiring,
Yeah. God, you must have been pretty fit, though. You must have been super fit.
I was ripped properly. Good old days.
Yeah, that's true. I've gone to pot a bit this lockdown. I need to start exercising more. I need to. Do you get much exercise daily?
I do. I try to stay fit, even for my kids. I think that for me, if you have a reason that's big enough, then it can motivate you. And for me, I just wanna be able to like be older and still play with my kids. So I just sort of put that as my reason.
Oh, that's a very, very good reason. Man, we're gonna do one last question, because this has gone really quick. We're almost up to an hour. So I know it's gone quick, isn't it? It's so quick. So okay, last question, man. And I'm not going to do like a throwaway little canapé one. I'm going to do a big question to end it on. Okay. I know, yeah. Marek, do you think about the future and like whether you'll still be shooting in like 10 years time? Do you think about those kind of things?
I do think about them. But I try to focus a bit more on like immediate future. So like a year or two from now, because I think what's going to happen 10 years from now it's so hard to predict with the camera technology development, how it's going to look like. And then also, we've got the pandemic. Maybe global warming will change the world we live in dramatically. I hope not, but I think taking it year by year for me is sort of a healthy approach.
I think that sounds wise.
Then I think I'm still in control, and I love shooting weddings, and I would love to still be doing that in 10 years' time.
Well, I hope you are, man. I hope you are, and still creating your
What
awesome
about you?
imagery.
What about you, Alan?
Thinking about the future? Yeah, I'm like you, I guess. I don't want to think too far into the future. Yeah, I don't know. And who would have thought like 18 months ago of what could have been happening in the world, kind of now as well. So you can't plan for everything, can you? Yeah, I don't know. I hope to still be shooting as well, and I hope still to be doing reportages and stuff because I'm loving that as well. So yeah,
I do love it as well. I think it almost also I think how much would we relate when we get like maybe in our 50s and the couples are 20 something.
Well, yeah, but maybe we'll just get older couples getting married then as well.
Yeah, the old couples, why not?
Or it'd just be people's like third or fourth wedding, it's all that's
Yeah, I think there's definitely no point to worry about it too much because who knows what the future will bring.
Yeah, exactly. Who knows? Oh, dude, man, thank you so much for your time. It's been so lovely talking to you again. It's been so lovely, man. You're a star. And anyone, as I say, anyone listening now, do head to thisreportage.com. I'll include the specific Reportage Award that Marek spoke about and those couple of images that he mentioned as well. And yeah, man, hopefully I'll see you this year. Hopefully we'll be doing the TIR Christmas party. It'd be ace if you could come along to that.
I'm definitely there if it's happening. You can come.
Oh, that'd be ace, man. That'd be ace. And fingers crossed for all your weddings this year. I hope everything goes ahead. And I hope you have a good one, dude.
And for you, Alan, I hope it all goes upwards and onwards with all the reportage thing and also with your weddings.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, you have a great day. Ace speaking to you. Bye-bye, dude.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to the 71st episode of the This is Reportage podcast. Really enjoyed talking to Marek. Hope you enjoyed listening. Head to thisreportage.com or thisreportagefamily.com for a link through to his website, along with the specific Reportage Award that he talked about on the episode. We have lots more episodes of the podcast available where we speak to wedding and family photographers from all over the world, delve into our back catalogue to hear from the likes of Elke van Rulo, Richard Skins, Liam Shaw of York Place Studios, Els Corsten, David Scholes, Rocio Vega, Sam Docker and many more too. If you're not yet a member of This Reportage or This Reportage family, check out all the benefits of joining us, including an unlimited number of images on your profile, 60 individual award and 18 story award entries per year, invites to our physical meetups and parties, exclusive discounts, hours of educational videos featuring tips and advice from some of the world's best photographers, and much more too. Submissions are open now for our next award collections. The deadline is the same for both our wedding site and our family site. Submit by 23:59 BST on 24th of May 2021. No poses, nothing staged. This is Reportage. And this is bye for now.